Well, hi everybody. Today I am going to be taking a look at a very requested planner, the Planner Envy Signature Layout for 2024. I just received it. I'm going to do this review. I was going to do a plan with me today, but instead I want to get this review out there because I already have my Vlogmas schedule figured out and I didn't want to do any more juggling. So let's take a look at this puppy. This is the box it came in. Ooh, stuff. Let's look at this really quick before we look at the planner, because this, I guess, has to do with their subscription box. 12 full sheets plus 3 deco sheets per subscription. So I don't know what all is in here, but this is just like a kit. It's really cute. You can totally use this for the new year. Awesome. It's very cute. Anyway, this was a gift, I guess, with purchase. Moving forward. So this is the actual planner, the 2024 Planner Envy Signature Layout. This one is the light pink, but on their website, they have other layouts as well, I think. This is the signature layout, and on the website, they have, it looks like 10 different cover options. Like I said, this is the light pink. So let's give you some information. This is what's actually on here. It's $69.50, which is pricey for a planner, but it does have a really nice coil. Sometimes the wire O binding feels a little cheaper. I've gotten used to it after using it with the Moxie Life this year, but I do love a good coil, and this is a rose gold coil. I wonder if they're all rose gold. It looks like all of the coils are they all rose gold? Yeah. It looks like they're all rose gold. That's really pretty. I know some people don't like rose gold. I'm a hoe for rose gold, so I'm all about it. Anyway, $69.50 for the planner, 2024 dated weekly, 101 pound thick quality paper in soft off-white, 8.75 by 10.25 inch page size, inside pocket and front cover, 2-page spread for each week, monthly dashboards and calendars, monthly finance and self-care pages, lined and dot grid pages each month, USA federal and religious holidays marked, bucket list, passwords, movie book ratings, year to glance, and more, lined and blank pages and back, 220 total pages, 110 sheets. All right, let's take a look at it. So I'll take this puppy off. Okay, that's pretty. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm a hoe for rose gold. I'm a hoe for pink. That is the rose gold foil. On the front says 2024 Planner Envy. And the back is blank. Now, I don't know how well you can see on camera, but it's not just a pink. It's kind of like that 80s style of wall. I don't know if you guys remember, if any of you are old enough to remember, that like sponged paint texture on the walls that was really popular in like the 80s and early 90s. That's what this looks like. But not in like a goofy 1980s way. It's really pretty. It's just very soft and kind of sponged looking. And then the coil is a magnificent, I'm sorry, I'm like kind of a hoe for this coil too. Rose gold, magnificent, nice, heavy duty coil. Love it. The cover is a hard chipboard. The inside is a light pink paper that feels kind of coated. And then with a pocket, feels pretty sturdy. And then we have the inside cover. Okay, this paper is super thick. It feels a little more porous than the Moxie Life paper. Maybe about as thick. It's very thick. Like, definitely does not feel thin. It does have the nice off-white color. Again, the reason I keep bringing up Moxie Life is my Moxie Life is sitting right next to me. That's why. So just as a comparison, I don't know how well you can see the difference, but this is definitely a little bit more off-white than this. I would say if you are used to like bullet journal style notebooks, not as yellow as a Leuchtturm, but still like a kind of creamy as opposed to like the more grayish paper that you get with like a Baron Fig. It says 2024 Planner, organizing the life of blank. And then for ideas, inspiration, and videos, head over to our Instagram. Also, they're nice thick pages. This looks like a year, like at a glance for 2024 because it does have the leap year. It's a Sunday start down here. It has a little perpetual calendar for every single, or a little calendar overview for every month in 2024. And then 12 boxes. Now you could use this for like monthly events or birthdays or whatever, but I do like that they did not label them with the months, so that if you don't want to do that, you can use it for something else, but you still have the reference. Bucket list for 2024, the big one. I love this cursive font because it's cute, but it's not quite so Hobby Lobby bridesmaid font looking that a lot of brush fonts, or a lot of cursive fonts and planners tend to look like. I really like it. I do find, and this might just be me, that the print font, hella to me, kind of is reminiscent of the font that they use for the logo for Scream. It's not bad. I'm not hating. It's very readable. I'm just like, that's kind of throwing me off. Whisper to a Scream, baby. Okay. Bucket list for 2024. The big one, places to go, things to try, things to work on, things to experience. And there's 7 spots for each one. And then there's a box at the bottom for next year. It looks like the print is a dark, dark gray. It doesn't look quite stark like black, but it's very readable. And it's nice. The font seems to be nice and big on all of the things right now. The pages are a little bit bigger than like a 7x9 planner, like 8.5 by 10. So there's more space. So it gives you more room to really let things breathe, which I do like. How I rate my books and movies, title and rating, and you get 5 stars to color in and a whole bunch of lines that I'm not going to count. Then you get a dot grid page. Now the dot grid, I'm curious about how big it is since this is a bigger book. I don't know if I'm a terrible measurer, but it looks like it's 8 by 8 millimeters. And it has a very light margin around the edges, and it's that same dark gray. Then here we have your monthly dashboard page, January 2024. This month, 3 priorities, a goals box that has lines, a just dark gray box or like a shaded gray box, a big empty box you could use for whatever, an important box, dates and birthdays, another box, and notes. So again, that gives you some structure, but not all structured in a way that you don't get to, you don't have to change a lot here unless you want to change any of these, but there's still plenty of room for your own pictures or your own categories if you want to put some health related stuff, or if you want to put, I don't know, your schedule to go to the dispensary. I'm not sure, but the point being is that there is plenty of space for that. The page feels the same as the other pages, like it's got the tab, but it's not cardstock. The tab is laminated and the months are in the same Whisper to a Scream font in rose gold foil. All this rose gold is like the only color besides the dark gray, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, here is your monthly spread. You have a notes column that goes all the way along the page except for a small margin up on top, a notes section. It says January 2024 with a few decorative line marks, a Sunday start, and then it has the calendar, and like it said, it's got the U.S. federal holidays in it and religious holidays. I see Kwanzaa. Over here, it says this month, you've got a bunch of checkbox spots and then a big empty box to do with what you will. And then up here, you have both your previous and your upcoming month calendars. Ooh, well, this is interesting. It's very bullet journal-y. Journal-y. Self-care and health. Goal this month, January 2024, relaxation, happiness, relationships with these circles. You have a mood tracker here with the whole month, and then you have a spot for a whole bunch of different moods. Happy, grumpy, sad, nervous, content, stressed, energized, frustrated, depressed. There's a whole bunch of different ones. I'm not going to read them all. Then we have habits and exercise and fitness. So you have space for 5 exercise and fitness spots, maybe like riding the Peloton versus walking. And then, 5 exercise and fitness spots. So maybe like going for a walk, going to a fitness class, doing a strength workout, however you want to think within all of the days of the month to check off. And then another 5 healthy habits, again, with all the days of the month to check off. You have a small dot grid section, a small box here for whatever you want. On this side, you have budget and finances for January 2024. You have a goal for this month, checking and savings start and end, an income space with a bunch of lines for amount and date, and then bills due, a whole bunch of lines for amount, due date, and then a checkbox for paid. Then we have a savings tracker. You're saving for something. They got 3 different savings goals here, and then how much you want to save, a spot to note upcoming large expenses, and then a small notes section. I really like this. These seem to be spreads that a lot of people put in their planners, but this is done for you. I like it. Okay, this is why I wanted to review this planner. This layout, I've looked at a lot of planners. I have not looked at all of the happy planners, but I have looked at a lot of planners. This layout is different than anything I've looked at, and I am very intrigued by it. It's kind of like a week on 2-page dashboard spread, as opposed to the dashboard spread we have the week on 1 page and the big blank page. This feels kind of dashboard style, but spread across 2 pages. So let's dig into this. January 2024. This week with those decorative lines, and then you have a space for every single day of the week to maybe make a note of the weather or a big thing, like a priority for that day or something. It's not a lot of space. My suggestion would be this is a good spot for like weather, temperature, that sort of thing. Maybe meal planning. An empty box, some lined notes area, a overview for the month with the week highlighted. You have a tracker here, so another habit tracker that maybe you can use here and then transfer to over here with another 5 spaces and a spot to check off every day. Then you have how the days look. They all have these little lines, the little decorative lines, but then the holiday is right here on top. It has the number, the date, the day, and then you have a lined column and a column that is blank with a bunch of to-do boxes and then some empty space. And you have that for every single day. Each day has the same amount of room. Each column is 1.5 inches across by 4 and just over a quarter. So like full box stickers that are designed for like standard 7x9 planners, I say in quotes, will fit in here just fine. Then you have another notes section with lines and a next week section with a big empty box. This is a really cool layout. The one thing I'm not necessarily a fan of is this gigantic January 24 up here. I feel like that's a little extra for being that big. I would almost prefer this to be a little smaller and have this be a little bit bigger. But generally speaking, it's neutral. It's got a lot, but it's an interesting layout. I'm very fascinated by it. So then we go through the weeks to get to the end of the month. This paper is so thick, you guys. And then we have 2 lined notes pages and a dot grid notes page. And then we move into February, which has the tab, the tabs are on both sides. The month, it also says Black History Month up at the top for February. So it looks like these little lines, if there is a holiday or something they want to call out, it'll be above those little lines. Holidays, all the things are the same. Women's History Month, Spring Forward, Purim is in here. There's a bunch of, so cool. They've got some good holiday. They've got a lot of holidays in here. It looks like they're not just going with the bare minimum. And looks like we've got some Muslim holidays in here as well. There's a lot of space for people who write big and like want a lot of like room to write. I would potentially recommend this. All right, so we get to the end. Here's December. This is the last week. The first week starts on January. Oh, also, I should mention the weekly spreads are Monday start. I know that annoys some of you when it's Monday start on the week and Sunday start on the months. It does kind of irk me, but I really don't give too much of a fuck. I honestly don't care that much, but I wanted to make a note of it. However, the Monday start for the weekly is the first this next year, which I think is just like a planner person's dream if they're a Monday start person. But the last week of the year actually takes you through January 5th. So it's got this gigantic December and January here, which I think any other week where it overflows, like here, let's look at October, November. Yeah, it's still pretty fucking big, but it looks like it's kind of a cute design choice. I just don't know if I care. I guess there's a lot of extra room, so it doesn't really matter if a little extra space is taken up. It's just not my thing. Then we got important contacts, name, address, phone, email, and you get a whole bunch of those. Passwords. Neither of these pages are pages I would use. I use my phone because I'm just lazy like that. And then with passwords, I'm not gonna write them down somewhere because I don't want someone to steal them. So I use a password keeper. And I just remember a couple of specific ones to help me get into the password keeper if I need to. And then we've got 2 lined pages. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 lined note pages. A blank doodles and ideas page. And then a couple of more blank pages. Looks like 6 blank pages or so. Another pocket. And that is the end of the planner. Now, before I get into my final thoughts, let's do a pen test because I'm curious about this paper. For my pen test, I am using a Uni-Pen fine liner for my fine liner, a Pentel Energel needle tip 07 for my gel pen. I've got a mild liner, a Tombow dual brush pen, and a Zig Clean Color dot pen, and I am heavy-handed. Okay, so this is a very absorbent paper. You know how sometimes when you write on paper, you can see kind of the liquid of the ink kind of standing on the surface for just a second, whereas with other more porous papers, the ink really sinks in. With the markers specifically, I could see it sinking in. Like it is like sucking it up like a sponge. Now, if you look at the other side, there's actually, and maybe it's because it is so porous, there is quite a bit of ghosting with the markers and a little bit with the fine liner and the gel pen. Like, no, I don't see any bleed through, but I do see, and I did a single pass and a double pass of the mild liner and a light and a heavy press of the dot pen. And all of the marker and both pens all have ghosting, which surprises me with how thick this paper is, but it makes sense when you think about how absorbent it is. It's not bleeding through though. It's just shadowy. So my suggestion would be with this paper is if you're going to go ham with like inky markers, like I'm curious, Moxie markers are very, very juicy, like more so than a mild liner. I'm very curious about this. And see, it didn't bleed through. Let me try my purple one. My purple one is the one that usually leaves a little bit of a bleed through on the Moxie Life paper. Right there, see at the end where it's like a little extra juicy. And see, it's starting to seep through, but only at that very spot. So this paper is seeming to be pretty nice. It has a bit of a texture to it, so if you love that feeling, I think the texture reminds me a lot of the Erin Condren paper texture, that Mohawk paper kind of slightly porous texture. So it's really, really thick paper, but don't let that let you think that you can do a lot of like watercoloring on this, because I have the feeling that watercolor, if these markers are already shadowing through, that watercolor might absorb right into the paper. I'd just be careful with it. But I also think that it is a beautiful feeling paper. So my thoughts on this planner. First and foremost, it's pricey. It is one of the pricier planners I've looked at this year. I think does it even beat out Moxie Life? It might even beat out Moxie Life. But you get the finance stuff, the health stuff, the really cool spread. But even if you just take the really cool spread out of it, one of the reasons that, for me at least, the Moxie Life is worth the price is because you're getting the goal setting and the planner. Like you're getting like two types of planning for your buck. Well, and this one seems to have a lot of extra stuff in it for your buck. On the same note, though, I can see why that price would be off-putting to people who can't afford to spend that much on a planner. It's also bigger, which may be a good thing for you if you want a big handwriting and want to have a lot of space. But if you're somebody who likes a smaller book, this may be too big for you. It's not as big as the Laurel Denise planner, but it is pretty fucking chunky. I'm not sure how transportable this is unless you have like a big old fucking knapsack. Do people even say knapsack anymore? But for an at-home planner, this could be really good. I actually think this, especially with this layout, this is like the home planner. I remember there was one I looked at, earlier this year or last year. There was one that I looked at that was like a planner meant to like keep on top of your home, but it was also super religious. This one feels like the secular version of that. Like, if I could tell you right now, if I needed to find a place for this in my home, this would be a home organization planner. Finances, my health and wellness, meal planning, everybody's schedules. That could be great for this. So I can see people using this. It's not for me, so I'm going to be giving it away in December. I haven't figured out exactly how the giveaways are going to work this year because I don't have anywhere near as many as I had last year because I didn't do as many reviews this year. But this will be given away, so keep your eye out for it. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below next year, since I've already gotten my Vlogmas figured out. Next year, what kinds of reviews would you like from me? Planner reviews, pen and other supply reviews, art supply reviews. Do you want more reviews? Do you wish there were more this year? Do you wish there were less this year? Just give me some of your thoughts on my planner reviews in the comments below, because I am starting to think about how next year is going to go and seeing what's going to happen now that I have eased my way into dialysis. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, my friends, peace.